Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session of today's AI Summit. Today, we're going to be exploring AI with Minecraft. We do have a bit.ly link at the bottom of the screen. So we welcome you to grab a copy of these slides, annotate them as you will. There are a whole bunch of links coming up that might prove useful to you, and you can get those there at that link. And Dan is putting that into the chat as well. Thank you so much, Dan. So on that note, now that that is in the chat, let's introduce ourselves. So my name is Sarah. I am one of the instructors here at Logix Academy. In my other life, I work at a big museum here in Toronto on our Minecraft programs. And Dan, would you like to say hi?
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. My name is Dan Noble. I'm an education and Minecraft education consultant, content developer here in Dumfries, Scotland. I'm also a part of the extended Minecraft team here at Logix Academy.
So as we are heading into today's session, we do want to take a moment to pause and reflect that even though we are meeting today in a virtual space, we're all meeting from physical places. So I would like to invite everyone to reflect on the lands where you are, and I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the fact that I'm presenting today from the ancestral lands of the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, which includes the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, on whose treaty lands I am so fortunate to be able to live and work today. And we are here again on behalf of Logix Academy. Logix provides a lot of different solutions for a lot of different training partners. We are here, of course, on behalf of Minecraft Education today, but we do encourage everyone to check out logixacademy.com for all of the other amazing things that other Logix instructors are teaching right now that I would love to be able to sit in on at some point. And it's not just trainings like this one, it's not just Minecraft. There are all kinds of physical STEM products that you can use as well to get all kinds of STEM and technology and coding learning into your classroom. We would also like to say a sincere thank you to Microsoft for supporting this workshop today and allowing us to be here. There is a link at the bottom of the screen right now and a QR code that you can use to get your skilling certificate. And we will be showing this again at the end of the session as well. So if you miss it in the beginning, you'll be able to catch up at the end. And we would like to hear from you. So if you'd like to take a moment just to drop into the stream chat, let us know how familiar you are with Minecraft on a scale of 0 to 5. 0 is, wait, what the heck is Minecraft? And 5 is, I could be teaching this session. Dan, where are you on this scale?
Well, as we've discussed before, Sarah, I used to put myself at a 5, but I have permanently dropped myself down to 4 because, as both Sarah and I have discovered, there's always something new to learn in Minecraft. I'm learning from students, I'm learning from other Minecraft ambassadors all the time. What about you, Sarah?
Absolutely. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that I think is so amazing about Minecraft. So for those of you who are on the 0 to 1 end of the scale, Minecraft is one of those amazing tools that has a very low bar to entry. It is very easy to pick up. I have been running it with kindergartens and grade ones at the museum, but the more you dig into it, the more there is to learn, and that rabbit hole goes so deep. So there is always something new, and that I think is probably the coolest thing. Minecraft is a tool that grows along with the learner. All right. So here is what is on deck for today. We're going to start off with some questions. And one of the big questions is why use Minecraft to learn about AI? And hopefully we will answer those questions as we go. We are going to touch on Minecraft's AI curriculum. And then we are going to be spending a good chunk of today in a play along session. So if you have Minecraft Education installed, please do open it up and play along with us, because we are going to be playing one of our favorite Minecraft worlds for exploring AI with students. And then we're going to wrap up with some extension activities that are not actually in the world, but we think would be pretty cool to do. And then we will have kind of that final reminder at the end of where you can get your certificate. And we will show a little tiny sneak preview of the hour of AI that we will be running in co-taught lessons for CS Ed Week. So we wanted to start off with a critical reflection on technology. So we have seen a few technologies in the past that people got really excited about and adopted really quickly. This is going to be big. This is going to change the world. One of those are Zeppelins, like the Hindenburg. Really great for travel. They're not burning all of this fuel. They are quiet. Really great. No possible drawbacks for that one. Asbestos, great thing for insulating your pipes and the walls of your house. It's fireproof. It's going to keep your family totally safe. Absolutely nothing can go wrong there. Chlorofluorocarbons, really great for medical technologies and food safety. Wonderful invention, no possible drawbacks. Let's use it everywhere. Radium's great. We have these lovely women painting numbers onto watches with radium paint. Again, no problems there, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I work at a museum. I spend about half my time going over cautionary tales, and Dan worked in school IT for a very long time, and that is just a string of cautionary tales. So with the two of us and kind of where we are positioned, we always tend to take things with a grain of salt. And that tends to be our approach to any new technology that we're introducing to our students as well. So looking at AI and what do we know so far? We're going to start with the good things. So it can be a really great time saver. It can supplement and equalize in a number of different ways. For English language learners, it's really great to kind of put them on par with their peers in places they may struggle. So, for example, if you're writing a response to a question and you need to format it in a way that's legible for the teacher, it's a great tool for that. Auto alt text, I think, is a wonderful application that's been cropping up in, I think it's the Blue Sky app now, where when you add a picture, it automatically prompts you to add the alt text and gives you a suggestion. So people are more likely to adopt that. I play D&D with a woman who is visually impaired, and this is a huge important technology for her. Same with on-site translation. She was really excited when she was trialing, I think it was Google Glass, and she could walk around and look at things and it would tell her what she was looking at and what it said. Like, that's a great application, absolutely wonderful. For me, I am on the spectrum. I have some executive dysfunction when it comes to tasks that I find tedious. One of the things that I absolutely struggle to get started is doing rubrics. And when they introduced AI rubric builders in Teams assignments, that was wonderful because it could take the curriculum and it could generate the rubric from that. And I didn't have to go around making all the little squares and figuring out all of the different changes in language. I just had to edit it to make sure that it fit. That was a really great application. AI can see patterns that are overlooked or impossible to scan with the human eye. So there was this great breakthrough in breast cancer detection. This is a great application for AI. So that's the good. Then what do we know about the not so good? So we know that a lot of the problems stem from the fact that a lot of people may not quite understand what Gen AI does. Gen AI doesn't actually make what you want. It makes something that it knows looks and sounds like the thing that you want. So people are really inclined to trust it. And I've included, this was something that was going around, a quote from somebody who's been in computer science for many years that I think is probably the best explanation about what ChatGPT is actually doing. When it is generating something that looks and sounds like what you want, it means that there's the possibility of hallucinations. So it knows, for example, the scientific paper would include citations. So put citations in. Sometimes it makes up those citations, but it's given you the thing that looks like a scientific paper. Its job is done. There is an example on the screen that just came out recently of Newfoundland's 10-year education action plan was partly generated by AI, and it includes sources that don't exist. So this is a very real drawback and limitation of AI. And because people aren't aware of what it is and what it is doing, they're really inclined to overlook that. So that is something to watch out for. I've heard stories of people waiting for hours for AI to generate a spreadsheet that it says it's generating. And it's not doing that, but that's what a response to, hey, AI, could you please generate a spreadsheet for me would be. Sure, I'll get right on that. So that's what it tells you, because that's what it knows the response to that question should look like. And there are ongoing questions about whose data was used to train these models and whether or not those people consented or were compensated for those years of work that were fed into the machine. And this is one of my big concerns with my students. AI is not a search engine. The mechanics driving it are essentially fancy autocorrect, but everyone's using it as a search engine. And the final screenshot on there, I spent a lot of time back in the early aughts on damnyouautocorrect.com. And I spent enough time there that having essentially autocorrect driving a lot of AI gives me pause and makes me a little bit nervous. But man, Damn You Autocorrect was a hilarious place to spend time back in the day. All right, so finally, the ugly, the stuff that does give us a lot of concern. Preliminary brain studies are coming back that have concerning conclusions about AI's effect on cognition and the erosion of skills that used to exist but don't after prolonged AI use. There are now stories coming out about agentic AI browsers and prompt injection. So people are able to just put prompts onto a web page, and the AI isn't differentiating the prompts from the user and the prompts from the web page and doing things like sending all their banking data to whoever put that prompt in the page. It's a new security red flag, and people just aren't testing for this currently. We know that there are potentially serious energy and environmental costs. We still have no idea what the long-term cognitive, behavioral, financial, and environmental effects of reliance on AI could be, but it's everywhere now. So no pressure as teachers preparing the next generation. Everything's going great. We know what we're doing, but we do. Very seriously, taking my tongue back out of my cheek. We're going to regroup. We can do this. There are tools that we can use to help us teach with AI in an ethical way that is actually going to support our students. And that's what we're here today to talk about. So we would like to know what your concerns are. Please go ahead and put those in the chat if you have them. We will go over kind of the main ones that we wanted to address kind of coming into this today. Some of those questions don't have answers yet, but what are the long-term effects of AI use in children? How do we teach AI responsibly? How do we help students understand technology that's currently changing? How do we teach students to use AI in ways that support critical thinking and problem-solving skills instead of subverting them? This is one of the big ones. This is the one that we think about all the time. I'm just going to let my office manager out of the room. And the answer we came up with is Minecraft. So why Minecraft? This is one of the favorite examples that I've used with my students because it's framing it in a context that they really know and understand already. So Minecraft is a wonderful tool that a lot of students use. So we've got that context baked in. And one of the things that my students are really keen on is watching builders who do really amazing things. So the example that I have on screen right now is from a series called Hermitcraft. It's a server where a lot of amazing Minecrafters get together and create wonderful things. This was the cyberpunk city that was created by Smallish Beans last season on Hermitcraft. It's phenomenal. I just look at this and want to cry. It's so good. And that is all creativity and problem solving and finding new ways to apply uses to blocks that no one had ever thought of before. These are amazing builders that students idolize. They're creative and innovative. They're solving problems with really innovative solutions. And they spent a couple of years doing this, but they create these amazing builds. These builds require a lot of Minecraft resources. And Dan, you and I are used to building in creative mode. Mm-hmm. So we have all the resources provided for us. We don't really have to think about how you get them. Did you know that Hermitcraft is entirely survival mode?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So all of these resources, they have to gather themselves before they can build. So what a lot of them do is they use farms to grind the resources so they can focus on building. Sometimes just building the farm requires a lot of innovation. I just watched one where they built a slime farm using allays and potions and silverfish. And it was just so bizarre and hilarious and phenomenal. But they are just thinking outside the box to create the farms they need to make the resources so they get on with doing the creative stuff like building this city. So the way that I positioned it with my students is how to use AI like a farm and not doing the building for you, because that's where the learning happens. That's where the magic happens. To kind of dive way deep into teacher training, that's how you get into the zone of proximal development. Learning happens when you struggle. If you remove the struggle, learning doesn't happen. Neurons don't connect. You don't get those changes in the brain that let you learn. So we want to use AI to support the learning, not subvert the learning. So these are kind of the essential life skills that we need to think about when we're approaching student and AI. So students need more than just exposure to AI. They need to understand how it works so that you're not just trusting everything that it outputs and falling for hallucinations. They need to recognize its limitations. They need to question its results. They need to learn to use it responsibly, again, in a way that supports their learning without subverting their learning. And a lot of this is in these Minecraft worlds that have been created. So there is a Minecraft curriculum. The link is on the screen. It's aka.ms/MinecraftAI. And there is further training as well that Microsoft has provided that goes beyond Minecraft. So they have an AI foundations training as well that addresses a lot of these questions and a lot of these life skills that we're going to need to provide our students with. They've been doing this for a while. So back in 2019, that's kind of where it started with AI for Good. And that is still one of my favorite examples for good use of AI. And then it has continued through into today. So today, one of the recent worlds that have been put out is Read Smart AI Detective. It is a really cool world that is based on film noir and detective stories. And that is what we are going to be exploring today. So these tools in the AI curriculum meet these needs for these life skills in fun and engaging ways that encourage critical thinking rather than doing the critical thinking for you. So these are our favorites. These are the two that we would hands down recommend before any others. So AI for Good is one of the older Hour of Codes, but it's actually using block code to train an AI to recognize conditions that give rise to forest fires and other dangerous conditions. So it's based on real technology that helps keep people safe. And the curriculum does actually go into what those real technologies are. And because it's actually using block code to train the AI, it's also training computational thinking, that really, really fundamental skill of being able to take a problem and break it down into simple steps and provide a series of instructions that lead to a conclusion. And this is a really important fundamental skill. And it's one of the ones that I find, like, as things become more automated, a lot of my students have lost. A lot of my students were really struggling to follow step-by-step instructions on how to do something until we started getting into block coding. And then they got a bit better at it because they were developing those skills. And then the other one is Read Smart. So Read Smart is a detective who is investigating cases in this Minecraft world that are based on what happens when AI messes up. So what it's doing is encouraging critical thinking and questioning about AI and not just accepting everything. And it's doing it in a really fun and funny way that is reminiscent of the point and click adventure games from old school Sierra. So that's why this is one of our favorite worlds. And that's why we wanted to kind of dive deeper into it today, as well as giving you some kind of tips and advice of expansions that you can do to make this world even more impactful. So we are going to play Read Smart AI Detective with you. So we're going to go through the tutorial and then we're going to do a bit of choose your own adventure. So I'm going to switch over to Minecraft and we're going to play Read Smart. And let's see if I can bump us to a place where we can see the screen a little bit better. Let's try this. I'll move us if that doesn't work. All right, so we're going to go into I think we're going to go the whole way. So you can find all of this in new and featured, but if you are watching the recording, I want to be sure that you can find it, even if they've updated what new and featured is. So if we go into play, we go into the library, and we're going to go up into search, and we're going to search for read. And I hope this is going to find it for us. Hey, it does. So there is Read Smart. We could also search for AI, and that's going to bring up all of the AI worlds. So if you wanted to find AI for good, that's a really good way to do that as well. But this is what we are diving into for today. So let's go into Read Smart. And from here, I do want to point out a couple things as we're going in for all of those ones and twos in the Minecraft experience level. So there's a couple buttons here. Lesson plan will actually take you to the lesson plan on the Minecraft education site. We are going to be getting into that a little bit later when we go into the extension activities. That has all of the supporting resources for this program, including some slides that you could use with your students. So it's a really great place to go with any Minecraft world to check out all of the supporting materials that they have for you. And a lot of people aren't aware of this, so they just kind of go in and try and wing it without realizing that there is often a lot that is available to support you in your teaching. And then the other button is assign or share. So if we click on that, there's a link right here. So if your students like mine can sometimes struggle to follow the instructions to find the world, you can actually grab this link and drop it into whatever you use to communicate with your students, be it your LMS, be it your class messaging system. And if they click on that link, that will open up their own copy of this world on their own device. So this, does cause confusion sometimes. I get a lot of people when I'm running a lesson like this being like, what's the join code? This isn't a multiplayer world. It's best done with everyone in their own world on their own device, doing it at their own pace. So let's go ahead now and let's create the world. So it's going to load in. And this is the part where we always caution students. Sometimes if you're on older devices or if you're on an older network, this might take a while if everyone's trying to do it at once. So you do want to be a little bit patient. Okay, so I'm going to, I know where the dialogue is going to pop up. So I'm actually going to bump us back over here. And we are going to start our world. And it starts off with some text. I'll never forget my summer working at the Smart Detective Agency, a summer of hot days, hot nights, and hot coffee. This is my story. So to spare my voice, we usually do this. We're kind of modeling the way we do it with students. And as you start off, especially in the first adventure, how you might want to do it with your students to model how you want them to go through this world. And that is by doing read-alongs. We're also going to show a couple really neat tools that you can use. So Dan is going to be Read Smart, and I will be literally everybody else. So first thing we have to do is select our control device. So I'm on keyboard and mouse, which is what I'm going to select. Your students do also have the option of being on touchscreen or mobile. And we'll try and kind of give the alternate instructions for if you're on those devices and following along that way. You can skip the tutorial, but we recommend going through it at first because it is actually introducing mechanics that are going to be important as we go through this world. So we know some students are real keen on just getting straight to it, but you want to stay in the tutorial for this one. All right. So this is for your kind of beginner students. This is movement tutorial. It's built right in as we have to follow Read Smart. So if you toggle H on your keyboard, you will be able to pop up your movement controls. It's a little cheat sheet that you can use. I type on a completely different keyboard layout than most people. So I usually hide this because I don't want to confuse anybody. But we can, again, follow the little sparkle dots and catch up with Detective Smart, who is over here. And we now have to interact with Detective Smart. That's a right click on the keyboard, or if you are on a touch device, I believe it's either a short tap, or if you're on the newer interface, it is the button that looks like kind of a little like crosshair with the middle missing. All right, and Dan,
Right.
you're up.
Okay, here we are. Welcome to the Smart Detective Agency team. We move fast around here. Say, you're going to want to write this down in that little notepad of yours. Okay, good. I like the cut of your jib. I think you're ready for your first assignment.
Really?
Really? Sure, kid, you got to start somewhere. Don't sweat it. I'll give you instructions. You put them in your notepad. Taking good notes is a must for gumshoes like us.
Noted.
Noted.
Yep. So we are going to come back to this when we go back to the slide deck in a moment, but this is one of the things that we encourage is that along with what you're doing in the game, have your students have their own detective notebook that they're writing things down in. So here is our in-game notebook, and I just got to this by scrolling on my scroll wheel because I have a mouse. You can also use the numbers on your number pad to select the different things that are in your inventory. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And if you're on a touch device, you just touch the one that you want to use. Once it is in your hand, then you can interact again. So again, on a mouse, it is a right click.
To use the notepad, magnifying glass, or camera, use the 1 to 3 keys on your keyboard to select the item on the bar at the bottom of your screen. All right, your first assignment is the case of the empty coffee cup. And by that, I mean I need you to make me a coffee. It's important you get this right. Pay attention to detail. It's part of your training.
I see.
First, you want to track down the bag of coffee beans. Use your magnifying glass to help you.
Okay.
Okay. Second, you need to put your camera to work and take a picture of the coffee beans. This will help you remember the beans I like.
Okay.
And I have done this in real life. My partner is very particular about the coffee that she likes, so I'll take a picture of the coffee bean bag that's almost done, and then when I go to the shops, I get the right one as opposed to the wrong one, because sometimes I get, being neurodiverse myself, I get overwhelmed by choices. So it's good to have wee notes with you. Finally, put all this evidence you've gathered on the case board. It'll help you for the next time I need a cup of Joe.
Who's Joe?
Who's Joe? Joe, Java Coffee. Keep up, kid. Now, after you take a picture of the coffee beans, get that coffee maker brewing.
Okay.
You're a natural, kid. When it's done, bring the cup of coffee to me in my office. Case closed. Got it? All right,
Got it.
try.
All right. So we got to find the coffee. This is what I love about this tutorial. It has that kind of sense of humor that the old school adventure games did, and it just makes me feel so nostalgic. So we have our magnifying glass. We've gone to number 2 in our hotbar, and we can see
we can see
there's
coffee
beans.
beans.
So it's helping us navigate through until we find, oh, there is the box. We can move this box. And there are our coffee beans. We got to use our camera to take a picture. And you can see the highlights are in different colors. They're telling you which tool to use. All
and
right.
I love how it's black and white, so those color pops really help you identify the objects you're looking for.
Yeah, and it's a neat metaphor too, because as you're gaining knowledge, color is coming into the world. But it also, when we get to a later section of the game, I can point out, it helps you keep track of where you've been, which is really handy as well. So we are interacting with the coffee maker. And now we actually have to go to our case board to find out everything that we have learned about coffee. So again, it's a really fun tutorial that's modeling what we're going to be doing later, but in a really kind of fun and goofy sort of way, which I love. Because again, it's very reminiscent of these old games. So here we go. Let's go over to our case board. And we're going to bring up the case board window. So this is something that happens 2 or 3 times during the 3 adventures that make up this world. And again, we're going to come back to our extension recommendation at the end of the playthrough. But every time that you get to the case board with your students, or if they're doing it independently when they get to it on their own, there are actually supporting tools in the educator guide that come up that relate to kind of discussion questions about the case board. So it's definitely worth getting to know where these are in the game ahead of time so that you know when to give these prompts to your students. But for now, we're just learning how it works. So we've got these 2 icons down here. We have the hand and we have the inspect. So it's a little bit of kind of match the shape. And we only have a few choices right now that match the shape. Sometimes you'll have more. So it's kind of a deductive reasoning thing as well, of figuring out which clues are actually relevant to the case, which again, I also like developing those critical thinking skills. But to use it, you can find out what a thing is just by kind of throwing the inspect or the hand at it. So when we throw the inspect, it tells us what this is. So we've got our coffee bean trail, we have our bag of coffee, and over here we have our notes that we took with our notepad. So to get the things, we do the same thing, but with the hand. It does require a little bit of aim. So we have to make sure that our crosshair is right on the thing we are throwing our hand at, but let's pick it up. And then we have to move it to the right shape. And we have to more or less get the crosshair in the middle, but you can reposition it if it's in the wrong place. So that's pretty good. And basically if it doesn't progress, you might have to realign some of your evidence. So that's the photo of our coffee beans, and then our case notes are going to go over here. Again, we're doing a little shape. So we've got a little bit of math happening in as well with our pattern recognition. So we're covering a lot of different curricula. All right, we had our coffee. We're going to go give it to Read Smart. So we solved the mystery of the cup of coffee. And now this is where we get to our choose your own adventure. So please, if you would like, in the chat, let us know which case you would like us to pursue. So the deepest fake is about deep fakes, misinformation, and media manipulation. Case 2, an ode to deception, is about AI detection, authenticity, and fairness in evaluation. It's about a poetry competition. Case 3, Dine and Deceive, is about restaurant reviews, and that one's AI-generated reviews, hallucinations, and source credibility. Each of them, depending on your class, take about a period to do. We're going to try and get through it in about 20 minutes, but I think we will be okay. So again, if you would like, let us know in the stream chat where you would like to go and which case you would like to do. And if you are just feeling a little bit shy today, that is okay as well. We will pick one. So Dan, how many of these have you actually played so far?
I've done all of them. I really enjoyed all of them, but I think the third one was my favorite.
Same. I really like that one too, for many different reasons. So let's start with that one. If we have time, we might do more than one, but I think just given how much both of us are completionists, it'll probably take up most of our time. So let's go to Dine and Deceive. All right, I'll switch back over to Minecraft and reload my screen because it was minimized. And there we go. Dine and Deceive.
This case went down like an ice cream covered jalapeno. It started off sweet, but things started heating up when we got to the pepper.
Hello, I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. Is this the Smart Detective Agency? My name is Jenna Rossetti.
You're in the right place, Mrs. Rossetti. I'm Detective Read Smart, and this is my assistant. I got your message. Why don't you fill us in on your problem?
Thank you, Detective. My Aunt Sophia owns a shop on the pier, Sophia's Seaside Snacks. Her shop has been a successful business for years. Unfortunately, business has suddenly hit a rough patch. A local food reviewing podcast hit her with a bad review, and ever since, sales have really tanked. So I'm going to pause us here and break the fourth wall for a second. So again, as we go through, we do recommend going through whichever case your class is doing first. Like you might want to do that choose your own adventure with them. Go through that one together, kind of like we're doing now. You could assign students to do the different parts and the different voices. It's bringing your language and drama curriculum into it too. These really are multidisciplinary lessons. But when your students are doing it on their own, We know that everyone might be in different places on their literacy journey. So I do want to point out this tool down here, this little book and speaker. That's the Immersive Reader. And what Immersive Reader does is it will actually read the text out for you. I don't have my system audio shared because it creates weird feedback in the stream, but I think you can probably hear it if I could play.
Unfortunately, business has suddenly hit a rough patch.
So it will read it for you, and you can even translate it into a whole bunch of different languages. So this is a really great equalizer for students who may be comfortable in another language, for example. So that is a really useful tool that we did want to point out before we go on. All right, let's keep going. Oh no, sales have tanked. It's not just a bad review. They actually accused her of using questionable ingredients in her snacks. That has to be some sort of crime, right?
It's not good.
After the review aired, the stories just started spreading like cheese in the oven. They just won't stop. If she keeps losing customers like this, Seaside Snacks will go right down the drain along with Aunt Sophia's dreams. Oh no. Detective Smart, can you please help us? We need someone to help us expose the truth and clear Aunt Sophia's good name.
I just love the boardwalk. The sounds, the smells, it all takes me back to a simpler time in my life. Well, now let's find Sophia's Seaside Snack, shall we?
All right, lead the way, detective. There we go. So again, it's giving us prompts that are color-coded, which is really handy. We are following Read Smart. And what I love about this is it anticipates learners like me and Dan who will ignore the quest marker and go and just talk to people to see if there's anything we miss. The dialogue is actually different before and after you follow the instructions on screen. So let's do what we're actually supposed to do and go into the Sophia's Seaside shop. And we have to interview people. So we can go to people. Let's be great customers, hop up on the counter here, and let's talk to Sophia. Because again, we're matching those colors. Whenever we see purple, we know it's the notebook that we're supposed to use. And Aunt Sophia says, "Welcome, ready for some seaside snacks? The special today is ants on a log, and despite what you may have heard, they're actually ant-free. So what can I get you?" Are you Sophia? "Yep, that's my name on the sign, Sophia Rossetti. Wait, did my niece Jenna send you? Are you Detective Smarty?"
"It's just Smart, ma'am. Detective Read Smart. Jenna said lately Biz has been on the skids. What's going on, Mrs. Rossetti?"
It's Ms. Rossetti, actually. Never married, unless you consider running Seaside Snacks a marriage. I've been doing it for over 20 years now. It's only in the last few months that the business has gone sour, ever since that blasted pod thing." Podcast? Yeah, that's what they call it. That podcast accused me of such awful things. And take a look at these reviews. So mean. As soon as one rumor quiets down, someone starts another. As if I would ever use the ingredients they claim I do. Okay, I think we got to see these ingredients.
Huh. Looking at these online reviews, I can't help but notice one name keeps popping up. Impresa Picante? They sure seem to have an axe to grind with you, Miss Rossetti. Any idea who it is?
I have no idea, Detective. If I did, I would prove them wrong right to their face. I only use the finest quality ingredients. I would never put that spazzatura in what I make. I promise. I believe her. All right, so we have some other people to talk to, so let's go talk to the customers. And we're going to have a minute of a technical geek out about the light coming through the windows. That's just really cool.
It's really cool.
"I love Sophia's Seaside Snacks. I've been coming here for years. It's a great place to get a quick bite. I noticed there's not as many people lined up as there used to be. Not sure why." Okay, thanks, Priscilla. Not sure that's helpful, but good to know that they really like the food. "I think I read something about this place online. I didn't pay much attention, though. Sorry." Okay, we know people are talking about the place, but that wasn't too helpful. "I heard the food in here has gross stuff in it, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. Some people might pay top dollar to eat the ears of an elephant." That's weird. Okay. All right. So there's definitely some rumors going around online.
"If the proof is in the pudding, you won't mind if we take a peek in the stockroom, yeah? just to make sure there's none of these weird ingredients in the reviews mentioned.
Good idea. Of course, Detective. Let me just get the key. Oh dear. Sweet Basil, I swear I'd lose my head if it weren't attached. I left my glasses in the storeroom. I can't tell which key is the right one without 'em. Detective Smart, would you be a gentleman and help me find the right key? All right. We have the tools, Dan. All right.
Okay.
Keys. Let's inspect. There we go. You found it. Grazie. I'll open the door and you can check out the stockroom for yourself. Take your time, Detective. Oh, and let me know if you find my glasses. Okay. So we need our camera. Let's get that ready. And let's head in and find the food supplies. Looks like they're all over here. Okay. And oh, look what we found.
Out of glasses.
Yeah. Okay. We picked him up. We can give him back. All right. We have to talk to Detective Smart. Do we remember which tool we need to talk to people? There we go.
So, kid, see any weird ingredients back there? Any elephants or poodles or ant farms?
Nope.
Just as I thought. I'd say something's rotten around here, but it ain't the snacks.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Rossetti. We will continue the investigation and be in touch.
So long. Please call me Sophia. I look forward to seeing you soon, Detective, and thank you for finding my glasses.
Well, kid, I guess the next thing to do is find out what the word on the boardwalk is. Grab your notebook and we'll see if we can get anyone to go on the record.
On it. So again, if you're having students do their own case notebook, if this is your kind of demo that you're doing, this would be a good time to encourage them to write down everything they know so far in their casebook before you go on. All right, so now we have to interview the people around the pier. So what do you think? Should we start at the back and work our way to the front?
Aye, sure.
Okay, let's go to the back. There we go. Don't believe a word of that Seaside Food Show podcast. They always make up stuff. Oh.
Really?
Yes, and I'll be so mad if Sophia's Seaside Snacks goes out of business like Douglas's Pie Place. That podcast is making all the good places disappear. Okay, that's interesting. That podcast really doesn't seem to like local businesses. Sophia's Seaside Snacks, huh? I've been there. Food's great. I don't know why people are spreading nasty rumors about it. Oh, nasty rumors. Yeah, no, they're saying they use these weird ingredients in their snacks. I've never gotten anything like that there. It's hogwash, if you ask me. All right, there's Detective Smart. Ew, that place? I heard online that they served a lady's finger. That's disgusting. That's all I've heard, but that's enough, isn't it? Well, it does sound really gross if true. First Dougie's Pies and now Sophia's Seaside Snacks. I really liked those places, but after hearing the podcast reviews, I've been a little afraid to go back. There's that podcast again. Yeah, our local boardwalk podcast, the Seaside Food Show. I never miss an episode. Okay. And podcasts are getting really popular. Here we go. Who are you? Oh, Dougie of the Pie Place. Sophia's Seaside Snacks? Yeah, they're getting the same review bombing that I got after Seaside Food Show reviewed my place. What did they say? That's right, that podcast is a menace. They started a rumor that there were bugs in my pastries, which of course was a total lie. Hello, it's called grasshopper pie because it's green, not because there's grasshoppers in it. It's no mistake. When I showed them my inspection reports, they just kept up with the bug story. Soon I had no customers. No customers, no money. No money, no rent. Next thing you know, I had to sell our family business to the Spy Seed Company. It's a crying shame. That is awful. If you think I'm exaggerating, take a listen for yourself. There's a kiosk next to Pepper Perfection that plays that podcast all day long for some reason. All right, thanks, Dougie. All right, who have we missed? And again, this is what I mean about the colors helping you keep track of who you've talked to. I love this mechanic. Want a pepper? They're extra spicy. Not for me, thanks. All right, this. Looks like it might be important. All right, what about the magnifying glass? Does it have anything to show us?
It's not over there.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's go check it out.
it's the bin.
It's the bin.
Oh, it's a bucket.
Yeah. Oh, camera worked.
Hmm.
How about you? Oh, yellow. Magnifying glass. Ooh, okay. Now our directive has changed. So we're going back to Detective Smart.
Everyone keeps talking about this podcast. It plays on a kiosk next to the Pepper Perfection. Let's go check it out.
You got it, Detective. Looks like Hal is in black and white, so we are not done with Hal. Okay. Notepad? Yeah, notepad. Okay. Welcome back to the Seaside Food Show, the podcast where we dish out the deets on your favorite boardwalk beaneries. As always, I'm your host, Crispy Bacon. Throwing me back to those games, though. I love it. Today, I'm reviewing Sophia's Seaside Snacks, or as I like to call it, Seaside Yaks, since I thought I was gonna be sick after eating there. That's not good. It only takes one visit to Sophia's Seaside Snacks to see that most of their offerings feature gross ingredients, stuff a normal person would never think about putting in their mouth. Some reports have even compared Sophia's Seaside Snacks menu to that of a horror movie. You have a right to know what's going on in the food court, and Crispy Bacon is on the case. Final verdict, if you're a fan of Sophia's Seaside Snacks, maybe it's time to quit asking what's on the hot dog and instead ask what's in it. Until next time, faithful listeners, remember, there's no faking with Chris Bacon. Wow.
That was a drag. But this guy here seems like he's really listening. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Ooh, another spicy episode of the Seaside Food Show. What did you think? They've got lots of good, honest reviews on our local restaurants. It's my favorite podcast. Oh, where's my manners? I'm Hal Pino, the owner of Pepper Perfection. Come on in and try a sample of my spicy treats. Oh, yes, poor Sophia. I've heard she's going out of business. Just terrible. I offered to help, told her I'd buy her shop, but she's not interested in selling. It's too bad. At least Dougie had the sense to sell before going completely out of business. Oh, wow. Would you look at the time? I need to get back to work. Stop by sometime and try one of my peppers. Bye now.
Total sus.
Totally sus.
Now there goes a strange fellow. I guess that's all we're going to get here today. Let's take what we got back to the office and get it up on the case board.
Let's go. Okay, so this is those interludes we talked about where you get to regroup and figure out what is going on so far. So we're going to interact with our case board. And we have 3 spots, but more evidence than that. So this is where we get into that critical thinking and pattern matching. So we have language and math and figure out what evidence is actually relevant. In the interest of time, we're just going to grab the things that we know go on the board. So we've got, if you'll go, please. There we go. The interview with Dougie, who had to sell their shop. Seems really important. We've got the episode of the podcast. And we've got the evidence from Sophia's Seaside Snacks that there's no elephants or dogs or ants in the food.
Looks like Seaside Food Show has seen its fair share of complaints too. Quite a few folks saying the show can't be trusted to give good info. This Crispy Bacon fellow from the Seaside Food Show podcast, maybe he has something against Sophia's Seaside Snacks. What about Dougie? Could they be exacting revenge on the remaining Pier Shop owners? So where do we go from here? Shake down Dougie? Grill Crispy Bacon, the Seaside Food Show host? Or maybe we just call it quits? I think we should grill Crispy Bacon.
I think so too. Chat, what do you think? I think I am very sus about crispy bacon, and I also really love that name and want to see who's behind it. So
Mhm.
let's go, crispy bacon.
Crispy Bacon really ravaged Sophia's seaside snacks in his review. It was a vicious attack. I think you're right, kid. We definitely need to talk to Crisp Bacon.
Let's go.
Well, what we waiting for? Let's find the Seaside Food Show studio and see what Crispy Bacon has to say for himself. Well, this is the right address, but this place doesn't look much like a production studio to me. It's empty. Where is everybody? Vacation?
Okay, so let's get out our magnifying glass
Hmm.
and camera and see what there is to interact with that's going to light up for us in the office. Water cooler.
Hmm.
Oh, camera.
That's something.
That looks like our coffee. And ooh, that looks like the podcast right there.
Yeah.
What else is there? This part I always find challenging. It's finding everything in here.
Yeah.
I know there's at least one more thing.
Mhm.
Where is it? Detective help. Mm-mm-mm. What are we missing?
Wasn't there
Mhm.
something that lit up at the front of the office, I thought?
Yeah. Oh,
And oh, there's something there.
yeah. There we go.
Is everyone out to lunch? There's gotta be.
Sorry.
Oh, a door. Good catch, kid. What's it say on it? Dewey Needham, studio director. Maybe the boss is here at least. Let's take a look.
Yes, sir. All right.
Oh, there's somebody in here.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. What do you need? I'm very busy right now, if you can't tell.
Mr. Needham, I'm Detective Smart. I'm working the Seaside Snacks case and would like to ask Mr. Crispy Bacon some questions about his recent restaurant review. Is he here?
Yeah, he's here. You're talking to him, pal. I'm Crispy Bacon.
Really?
That's right. I'm also al dente, teriyaki, souffle, and macaroni. I'm all of them. I'm actually the only real person working here. That's why I'm so busy. What do you need?
Hmm. If you're the only one working here, what gives with all the desks out there? How are you doing all these people's work yourself?
It's like I said, there's no other people. It's just me and all these computers. I use AI to help create all these different shows by myself. It does all the work for me. I built the whole Seaside Food Podcast Network using AI to create all these local food review podcasts. It writes the reviews and makes hosts for each show. Sure, I trained them all on using my own likes and dislikes. Now they can make a podcast for me. Can we wrap this up? I got to get back to this. Well, hold on.
I have to admit, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. How can AI review food? AI can't eat, or can it?
Can it? That's disturbing. You still don't get it, do you? No, AI doesn't eat and it doesn't go to restaurants. The AI is trained to know what I like. It finds info about the restaurants online, stuff like their menus and user reviews, and then uses that info to generate a review based off my taste. Get it? Maybe?
Hmm.
Well, that's how it's done, and it works. Mostly. I mean, sometimes the AI gets confused and maybe makes up some stuff. That's called an AI hallucination, by the way. But mostly it works great.
So, how do you explain these reviews? Hallucinations? Chris Baconbot said Sophia's Seaside Snacks serves customers dogs. That's not true, and you know it. You're just spreading lies, muckraker.
Yeah. Look, Mr. Smart. Uh-oh.
That's Detective Smart. Get it right.
I'm sorry, detective. Mistakes like this aren't common, but when they do happen, I try to fix them. Several people contacted me about the Seaside Snacks review and said we got it all wrong. I went back and listened to that review and I heard what they were talking about. He didn't listen to the reviews before he posted them. The AI got confused and had some misunderstandings. That's all. That's why I made a correction on the following episode along with an apology. Yep, episode 78. Full apology to Sophia's Southside Snacks right at the beginning.
Well, that's a good start. So when does this episode 78 come out? I'm sure Sophia would like to hear it.
It's out now. Episode 78 released a few weeks ago. It should be all over the Piers kiosks.
No. We just came from the pier. The kiosk there is still playing the episode with a fake review. You wouldn't happen to have a copy of the new episode we could share with her, would you?
Good idea. Yeah, here, take as many copies as you want. Oh, when you see Sophia again, please tell her that everyone at Spicy Studios is very sorry for any pain or trouble we caused.
Spicy Studios? Isn't the show called The Seaside Food Show?
Yeah, that's the name of the show, but the studio is owned by the Spicy Company. They own just about everything around here. If you want to learn more about the company, talk to the owner, Jalisco Peño. I think he's got a shop on the pier, too. Oh, thought he was sus.
Yeah. Jalisco Peño? You're thinking what I'm thinking, kid?
Jalapeno.
Jackpot, kid. Now let's get these clues back to your case board and see if we can start putting together the big picture.
All right. So we are actually, in the interest of time, going to pause it here before the conclusion. But you can see how the problems in this case are caused by AI hallucinations and the user not actually reviewing things and just pushing them live. And then Hal Peño gets in and compensates things because he wants to buy everything on the pier. And we discover that in the next investigation. But again, this kind of really underscores why we love this world so much, because it's fun, it's engaging, it's funny, and it actually encourages that critical thinking. So if my computer will let me hop back over to our, come on. This was working so well before. Just minimize this window, please. There we go. And we can go back to here. Yay. All right. So to wrap this up, again, we've included the link that you get when you click on the lesson plan button before you launch this world. So that has all of the supporting materials, including the student workbook. So we really encourage that you use those supporting materials in a way that work for your class. You can remix if you need to make it work for your students. So this is just one example of one of the pages of the student workbook. And you can see that the pages to fill in are kind of meant to be done after the whole thing. And for some students, it can be really hard to remember everything that happened in that full case because they are pretty in depth and they do take a while. So that's why we recommend having your students keep their own casebook. If you're doing it online, they could take screenshots and drop them into OneNote, Slides, PowerPoint, Sites, Docs, Words. You could do it the old-fashioned way and have them do it in a paper notebook and do sketches, like police sketches. And then in that student workbook as well, and in the educator guide, they have that activity discussion at the bottom is meant to be done in each kind of case board section. So you could set up kind of your own casebook prompts of things that they should put in their casebook as they get to each case board. It's really customizable for how in depth you want to go and what your students are ready for. So we really do kind of recommend that just to keep them engaged in this and keep that critical thinking going as they're going through. And then when you finish, we thought of an extension activity that might be really fun to do, which is have students design their own Read Smart adventure in Minecraft that illustrates the need to think critically about AI. Thinking way back to the beginning of the presentation, we had a lot of the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a lot that isn't explored in Read Smart that your students have the chance to dig into. So it's kind of connecting to a research project about things that they need to be aware of and think critically about when using AI, and have them illustrate that with a new Read Smart adventure. If you want to make some language and literature connections and include that in kind of a multidisciplinary unit as well. If you've studied other detectives or detective stories, or the students have, you can use those examples, like Carmen Sandiego, which is still around. It was around when I was 9 and she's still here. Sherlock Holmes, who is pretty universal. Yes, I use Basil of Baker Street because that is my favorite Sherlock Holmes adjacent story. Scooby-Doo. is still around in various incarnations, and have students write a new adventure in that style and have them kind of compare and contrast the style of a detective noir with whatever they choose to do their new adventure on. You could have an art and design extension and have that world match the theme aesthetically, the way Read Smart and Film Noir was all in black and white. How would you represent, Scooby-Doo versus Sherlock Holmes in Minecraft? And have your students include at least one example of AI for good, like we talked about at the beginning. It's a great opportunity to connect back to that AI for good hour of code lesson as well, if you wanted to do that. So if there are any questions, please do drop those into the chat. I am very aware of time, so while you are putting questions in, if you have any, we are going to just bump this over to your certificate. So if you scan this QR code, or if you go to the link at the bottom of the slide, you are able to get your skilling certificate for participating in this training today. And again, huge thanks to Microsoft for supporting this workshop. And we want to hear from you. Let us know at bit.ly/logicsfeedback. That lets us know how we did, lets our partners know how we did, and lets us know what else you would like to see in professional development training like this one. And final reminder, we are doing Computer Science Education Month. And one of the things that we are doing is the Hour of Code. So we know we're at time, but we will, I guess, play you out with the trailer for the AI Hour of Code that we are running with students for Computer Science Education Week. So thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We are going to play you out with this video, and we hope we see you during CS Ed Week. Bye, everyone.
Agent has these little helpers that can do anything you tell them to. If Agent gives them a task and tells them how to do it, they'll find a way to complete the job. Kinda neat, huh? But what if the job was bigger and more difficult? For example, with your help, could Agent use the helpers to get through that first night in Minecraft? Where wood you start? Wood, right? The helpers need to learn what wood is. This is wood. And this is too. Oh, but that's not. Minecraft Education invites you to an hour of AI where you get to use your very own little AI helpers while reliving that exciting first night in Minecraft. Code your way through puzzles and creative challenges, solving problems using prompts and critical thinking. Look at that, nice HUD. And you didn't forget anything, did you? Go to aka.ms/hour-of-AI to do this free and fun challenge today. Good luck and good night.